Hi, everybody. Lara here, and I am so thrilled to be with you for this edition of the Big, Beautiful Holiday Breakthrough. And tonight we're going to be focusing on how to avoid conflict and actually enjoy your family during the holidays. This gifted class that I really wanted to share with you so that you could create some fun and some love and some joy with your family this holiday season instead of it just being all stress and pressure. This gifted class, in it, what I hope we're going to be able to accomplish is, number one, help to free you from some of the negative feelings that you have going into the holiday that are really coming from your past. And I'm hoping that if we clear it, you can go in with a fresh perspective and without the reactivity that you've experienced in days and holidays before. Number two, I really want you to be aware of what you want and what you need this holiday season so that you can strategize a plan for actually getting it. So you can hold the holiday dear to yourself and satisfy your own heart. I'd like to help you feel more harmony with your family. And we're actually going to do an exercise that targets meridian points in the Chinese acupuncture system to help create harmony when you're not feeling so harmonious, and it really works. And last but not least, I am hoping we're going to have time to coach 2 to maybe 4 people tonight to clear any stressful familial blocks that they may have so that you can be inspired by the coaching and learn something. Because I find that just about every time I do this, what is shared in the coaching winds up being for so many of you. And the feedback that I always get is that, wow, that really inspired me and I didn't even know I needed it. So I want to just check in and say hello to you guys in the chat now that everybody's here. Hi, Karen. It's awesome to see you. Elizabeth, it's great to see you. Marlissa from Chicago. Rania from London. Awesome to have you. I know it's late there. And Susie from Rochester. Solange, awesome to see you too. Elisa, good to see you again. Pam, awesome. Desiree, glad to see you here. Camille, Meg, awesome to see you too. Darlene, awesome, you guys. Suzanne, Kimberly, and Wendy, awesome, awesome, awesome. I am just so happy you are all here. And I have to tell you that the coaching requests that you sent were really, they did inspire all of what I am teaching here tonight. And I'm actually going to share some of them with you right now. I can't share all of them because there are too many, but I want to do this and share them all because I'm sure there's some that others wrote in that are also for you as well, so that you can add to yours and you can get even more benefit out of this class tonight. What happens when I do sessions with people all the time is the first thing that I ask them is, what's your upset? What do you need help with? Because what I know to be true is that is where the growth is. So the birthplace of all our freedom is always in relationship to how we handle our upsetting circumstances. I always say upset is access, and we would change absolutely nothing if we didn't feel anxious, worried, or stressed about something, because we wouldn't be discontent enough to look at it, feel through it, and see what we need to shift and change to actually feel better. So this is where I always like to begin, in the upset. That's why I asked you this question: what family-related anxieties come up for you around the holidays? And the first one, which I often feel too, is managing sorry, I'm just looking at a real quick note. Managing my mother's high anxiety over entertaining, even though she insists on hosting, and also the failure to take care of myself. a mix of fearing future conflicts and battles for control. So in the chat, guys, just share as I'm reading these. If these are resonating with you too, just say yes, resonates, or just put some explanation points here, because I just want to see just which one of these are also anxieties for you guys as well. Okay. A mix of fearing future conflicts and battles for control. I said that one. And dealing with the relationship with my partner, trying to stick to traditions, even though there's a lot of stress to do so, like making food item choices that have to be exactly the same recipes as the elders baked. Absolutely right. Dealing with alcoholics in the family who have a tendency to get drunk and then do dramatic and embarrassing things that just make everybody feel uncomfortable. Judgment and criticism, fear, sadness, and loneliness, because maybe there's a lack of family, or maybe even with your own family that you just don't feel like they see you. Yeah. One of the other anxieties was just wanting to release old beliefs about the holidays because of some negative stuff that's happened in the past. Somebody else says anxiety about having to hide parts of herself. And Elizabeth says, yes, it feels like my family doesn't see me. Yeah. Conflicts, misunderstandings, old arguments that have a tendency to just still be lingering in the air and causing resentment just upon seeing people again. This is a good one too. My tools for creating peace don't work with certain family members. And I sense that they mirror older family members with the same personality. So a long tradition of just conflict that seems to be embedded in the ancestry. I dread knowing I'll need to set customized boundaries with each person. Also dread negotiating for my needs all the time because there's a lack of acceptance and continuous pushback. Yep, boundaries and negotiations, it's resonating. This one is one, I'm not sure how many of you feel this as well, but I thought it was important to bring up. Being around sexual offenders from my childhood, and that this issue has never been addressed to protect her from the rest of the family has never protected her around this. Again, rehashing old arguments, not standing in my power, shrinking into the authority, pleasing younger version of herself. Fear that her husband will say, we're overbooked and we're too busy. And then she'll feel like the middleman between the pressure the family's putting on her and the pressure her husband's putting on her. I feel like I don't fit in and that my family would not accept my authentic self. So I only show them what they expect, creating a barrier and space between us. Yeah, Elizabeth saying I'm relating to pretty much all these. I can't believe how many other people feel this way. That's why I wanted to share it with you guys, to let you know you're not alone. This is stuff that comes up for so many of us around the holidays, and we don't even know that this is the energy that we're walking in with. Dealing with negativity, one family member in particular, always very negative and brings everyone else down. Projected expectations like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? And judgments around that. Just not having family unity, political differences. Oh my goodness, this past 2 years, I feel like that's been a huge one. It's something you don't want to talk about. And we'll talk about setting boundaries around that later. I have a husband that hates Christmas, and we have a 7-year-old who loves the wonder of the season. So finding balance between the celebration and also honoring my husband's desire not to celebrate is difficult. Social anxiety and constant fear that I will say or do something wrong, especially with people who are struggling and grieving during the holidays because they're missing someone. Awesome. I'm so glad this is resonating with you guys. Not being able to break out of old toxic family patterns. This is a really good one. Abandoning self for approval and avoiding conflict. It's what I did actually last Thanksgiving, and I paid for it. You guys know my story. I had this gut instinct not to go, and we wound up catching COVID at our Thanksgiving event. But I will tell you, the lesson that I learned from that has been life altering. And it's probably one of the biggest of my life. I've shared it, is that I give myself emotional security. And there is absolutely no reason for me to override that to try and appease or alleviate anybody else's anxiety. I have to follow my gut. And I now have a commitment to myself to do that. And that's what I'm hoping that you guys are going to get out of tonight. So there's a few more, but I'm going to move on because I want to get to that part. I want to get to why it's so important to look into this and see why our anxieties and our fears are so intense, why the pressure feels so crippling around the holidays. So even though the way that you're feeling about the upcoming holidays is a result of other people's past behaviors or hurtful or stressful situations, we can't control their behaviors, but we can control our own and manage our emotions around this. And this is exactly how I want to help you take your power back. So, really becoming aware of how we feel and working with the energy exercises we're going to do tonight on releasing those feelings can help us release any attachment we have that are that's built on other people's expectations of us or our own expectations from the past, so that we can be free to have a different kind of experience this year. So in any upsetting circumstance, now that you're an adult, you have choices that you did not have as a child. So as an adult, we can do what feels right for us, and versus what maybe feels familiar, or maybe what might please other people, or maybe what feels like in my scenario last year might appease other people's anxieties or alleviate them in some way. As kids, we did not have this capacity. We needed to belong. And ultimately, we did whatever we needed to keep our family and our parents happy, for fear that we might be abandoned if we didn't. And we were hardwired to do this. So, out in the wild, if we were, baby bear cubs, and something happened to a parent, we may be able to forage for ourselves. We may be able to, hunt a little bit, maybe find plants to eat. We may be okay, and we may be able to survive out in the jungle. But as humans, we really need our parents to feed us. We need a roof over our head. We can't survive on our own. So the way that we ensure our survival is through emotional connection. So we pretty automatically make sure that we're bonding with our parents and not doing anything to make them angry or upset with us. Okay. So we did whatever we needed to as children to keep the peace, to not upset mom or dad, even if that meant ignoring our own needs or doing things that didn't feel good to us or that hurt us. And again, as an adult, you can make a different choice. And the only thing that's really keeping you from making that choice, and I want you to really hear this, are your anxieties from childhood that can feel like they could kill you. And the reason they feel like they could kill you is what I just said. Because I love that. Preach, Lara. I'm preaching, guys. I'm preaching. Because you had to do this. You had to subjugate your own feelings and please others in order to feel like you would survive. Okay. So that's what I want to make you aware of tonight, that just because you had to make sure mom and dad were happy back then, you don't necessarily have to do that now. And in fact, if you are doing that, and internally you're not doing what feels right to you all the time, you're going to wind up resenting your family. And like my pal and brilliant psychotherapist Terry Cole says, if you're people pleasing all the time and ultimately subjugating your own needs in your relationships, that ultimately over time kills a relationship, because if you're not happy, seen, heard, appreciated in that relationship, you're ultimately resenting it. And what I certainly got from reading so many of your concerns about the holidays was that it's not that much fun hanging out with your family. And this is why. So your family relationships very, very much, and the health of your family relationship depends on you speaking your truth, asking for what you need. But I think first, being aware of how you're feeling about the things you're about to do when you're with your family, so that when you're in these scenarios where maybe your needs aren't getting met, or maybe you're unhappy about something, or maybe you've just been criticized in some way, you're not abandoning yourself. You had to abandon your emotions and yourself when you were a child, in some ways to take care of your parents, to make sure that they didn't abandon you. Not anymore. In fact, abandoning yourself in your relationships and your feelings in your relationships ultimately is leading to the demise of the relationship. So, not only does your own sanity and peace of mind and heart need you to deal with your emotions around this and to listen to your heart, but your family relationships are depending on it as well. They just don't know it. Okay. So, I want to do an exercise right now that can help to start shift this for you. So, I want you to think about what the situation right now is for you personally, moving into the holiday. And what is something that you really don't want to do that you feel like you should do, or you have to do, or you're expected to do? Okay. Bring up some feeling of pressure around that, or pressure to buy the perfect gift, people please in some way. Bring up those feelings in your body. See where you actually feel them. Do they manifest in your jaw, maybe your head, your neck, shoulders, your stomach, low back? Just see where it's manifesting and then rate it. How intense is it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not so terrible, 10 being pretty high? Desiree says she gets an immediate headache. Solange says my chest and stomach. Darlene says her chest, jaw. Great, guys. So the antidote to anxiety and what you're feeling in your body is always going to lie in appreciation. Appreciation means to move toward what's precious. I'm going to say that again. Appreciation means to move toward what is precious to you, what you love. So, what I want you to move more toward this holiday is how you love your precious self, how you take care of your precious heart, how you take care of the inner child within you that didn't get what they needed when you were a kid. You can give it to yourself now. Okay. So, living to avoid fear keeps you in what I would call a hypervigilant state. So if you are continuing to focus on what is not working and how you're nervous about going into this without addressing it and without nurturing your heart and soothing your heart through these feelings and making different choices, then you're going to perpetuate fear versus love and appreciation. So, we're going to move your energy around this. We're going to help to reprogram your physical reaction to the holidays and feeling like you have to, should, you're expected to do all these things, and help you get more aligned with truly what is the best way forward, honoring your own heart and then setting boundaries around that. So, this is a classic anti anxiety point series. And Kat, I'm going to ask you right now, and for every exercise we start, just take a look at the time code. Okay. So, remember what the time code was. And so, re-tap into again, guys, wherever you felt the stress of the holidays in your body. For some of you, it was the jaw. And this is about, again, tapping into those potential expectations that are stressing you out, holiday pressure to please. Tap into where you feel in your body: chest, gut, shoulders, neck. And now, what I'd like you to do is there is a heart 7 point called the spirit gate point. It is right here on the back of your wrist underneath your pinky finger. I would like you to just go like this on it. Okay. So fingertips and back of hand, fingertips, back of hand, fingertips, back of hand, fingertips, back of hand. Now you do it on the other side: fingertips, back of hand, fingertips, back of hand, fingertips, back of hand, fingertips, back of hand, fingertips, back of hand. Now, what you're going to do is just hold those points. So you can take one hand like this, the other hand like this, and just make sure you're holding here and here. You're going to hold those spirit points. So just hold them like that. And I want to tell you a little bit about this point. And somebody's asking a question: is anxiety related to fear? I think anxiety is what comes up often around fear. So it's a similar feeling with just a slightly different emotional quality to it. Okay. So heart 7 is called the spirit gate point, and this regulates the mechanism that provides entry into and out of the imperial chamber of the heart. And I am reading this. This is a quote from Lonnie Jarrett's book, and he has a very dense book about acupuncture points and what each one means emotionally. And so this is from one of his books. The gate must open and close according to the degree of safety inherent in any potential contact. So this is where this gets tricky with family, and this is why we're holding this point. So again, as kids, we did what we needed to belong, and ultimately this point, and which is access to our heart, was just open around our family because it's our familiar. It is where what we knew and what we grew up with. So this point, when it's open and then something happens that, with the people that we feel we should be safe with, that then makes us feel unsafe or unheard or disrespected in some way, this point gets thrown out of balance. So holding this point can help you truly pay more attention to what your heart wants and needs versus just stepping into the patterns of the past and just being super open and then getting thrown out of balance when you feel disrespected or hurt in some way. Okay. So you can, as an adult, I'm going to keep repeating this because I want you to get it. You can take care of yourself and make choices which help you feel safe and free, and then honor your heart and your family relationships. Okay. So as you're holding these points again, just think to yourself: I can take excellent care of my own heart and give myself what I want and need this holiday season. I can take excellent care of my own heart and give myself what I want and need this holiday season. Okay, so how you're holding these points is you're just making sure you're holding here and here on both wrists. Okay, so you can just literally wrap your hands around your wrists like this. Okay, and if you guys aren't getting quite enough juice out of this, you could just tap here. I can take excellent care of my own heart and give myself what I want and need this holiday season. Switch. I can take excellent care of my own heart and give myself what I want and need this holiday season. And try the hold again. You're just going to try what feels right for you. Because what the great thing about this is why I was showing you some of these exercises, is you could do this right under the dining room table and no one would even know. Take this in. You owe it to your own heart, your own inner child, to address what you're feeling and to honor it with a change of behavior. Maybe that means setting a boundary, setting up a new way to approach the holiday. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So just close your eyes for a minute and just think, how can you honor your heart this holiday? What pops into your head? And one of the things that pops into my head around the holiday is, somebody just said, seek joyful experiences, for sure. And we're going to talk about how to do that. More singing, more rest, absolutely. Desiree says disappearing. Well, you certainly, one of the things I love to do, guys, is I love to go for walks in the middle of the day. I take all the dogs out for walks along with my little baby, and we get out of the house for a time so I can ground myself and be in nature and find my own center. Decorating my new home, that certainly is a wonderful way to ground. So while you're going to be with your family somewhat, or maybe if you're not, how do you honor your own heart? And there are ways that you can resource yourself, like I just talked about, during your family stays, and even if you're not with family, to help give yourself the love that you are craving this holiday season. It's super important. Okay. So now we're going to move to the next point, and it's going to be 2 points actually. So there's governing point 24 and governing point 20. One is right here along your hairline, and the other is on the top of your head. So you're just going to do this. You're going to paintbrush this way with the palm of the hand, and then you're going to do the back of the hand. Palm, and just flip your hand back. Palm and back. And when we do this, what we're doing is we're just using the polarity of our hands, the south side and the north sides of our hand, to open up these points if they are indeed blocked. And then you're just going to pause here. So again, holding the very top of your head and your hairline. As you're holding these, I just want you to just know the governing meridian gives you the courage in yourself and your autonomy. It helps you stand tall and feel your backbone and your inner strength. As you just hold these points, take a deep breath. I can ground myself in my inner strength and my knowledge of what feels best for me. I can ground myself in my inner strength and my knowledge of what feels best for me. I can ground myself in my inner strength and my knowledge of what feels best for me. See if you can feel pulses through your fingertips. And this is a good one, guys, that you could do at night before you go to sleep. If you're with your family, you could lay back on your pillow and just hold these points and repeat this phrase. Now we're going to go to a point, pericardium 6, okay? And so that point is on the inside here of your wrist. And again, you're just going to flip your hand like this on one side. And this is another regulator that affects the opening and closing of the gates of the heart. And this point helps you be discerning between the heart's hearing, what the heart is hearing, and what's actually happening. Okay, so sometimes our heart hears something different if what's happening triggers us. And it's what I talked about before. What the power you had as a child is a lot different than the power you have as an adult. So you do have the power to keep yourself safe and comfortable here. And it's your heart and honoring your heart's needs that's going to help you understand when you feel safe and when you don't. So with this one, we're just going to hold the insides of our arms like that. So see how I'm just putting the inside of my hand here and the other one here. Okay, so just hold those points like this, place them on your lap as you just see if you can feel pulses under your hands and take this in. I can listen to my heart's needs in every situation. Honoring my heart's needs in my relationships honors the health of my relationships too. I can listen to my heart's needs in every situation. Honoring my heart's needs in my relationships honors the health of the relationship too. I can listen to my heart's needs in every situation. Honoring my heart's needs in my relationships honors the health of my relationship too. Awesome. And now we're going to do the last point here. Pull up a picture of it for myself so that I don't teach it incorrectly here. Okay, great. So this last point is central 17. So you're just going to just touch your chest here and then flip your hand over it, touch your chest, flip your hand over it, touch your chest, flip your hand over it, touch your chest and flip your hand over it. And then you're just going to place your fingertips right here on the center of your chest, okay? And if you put your four fingertips on top of your other four fingertips, you'll be sure to get this one. And you're actually holding points all along the central meridian here. And this is the meridian that helps you alleviate the feeling of being vulnerable and helps you feel more centered and secure in who you are. It's already working on me. I feel like, did you see that exhale? Okay, so as you guys hold these, just take this in. I can get clear on what I want and feel. I can feel centered and secure in knowing what I want and need to feel good in any situation. I can get clear on what I want and feel centered and secure in knowing what I want and need to feel good in any situation. I can get clear on what I want and feel centered and secure in knowing what I want and need to feel good in any situation. So go ahead and see if you can feel the pulses here under this point. Take a breath. See what you can let go of. Okay. And now I'm going to show you this because this is an awesome little tool that you can do anywhere. You're going to take your left hand, okay? Left hand. I'm so glad this is helpful. So you're going to take your fingertips right underneath your pinky finger here on your wrist. Then you're going to trace slowly under your thumb. Then you're going to go down here and then circle up. So you're just going to create a circle that really goes from under your pinky finger over to your thumb. And as you circle here, you just think to yourself, I am willing to release my anxiety and fear and get in touch with what my heart needs to feel secure. I am willing to release my anxiety and fear and get in touch with what my heart needs to feel secure. I am willing to release my anxiety and fear and get in touch with what my heart needs to feel secure. Awesome. Now we're going to do the other side, okay? So on the right hand, you're going to circle from heart 7 to lung 9 to PC again. So this is the same direction actually. So from pinky finger to thumb finger and down and around, okay? And as you do this, You're going to think the same phrase. I am willing to release any fear, anxiety, or worry or pressure I'm feeling and get in touch with what my heart needs to feel more secure. I am willing to release any anxiety, fear, or pressure I'm feeling and get in touch with what my heart needs to feel more secure. I am willing to release any anxiety, fear, or pressure I'm feeling and get in touch with what my heart needs to feel more secure. And go ahead and take a deep breath and exhale. And just notice any change in your breath. I'm breathing deeper actually after doing this. So take a deep breath and see. How does that feel? Maybe your chest is a little more open. Give me some feedback, guys. How did that feel? And just think, all these exercises I just showed you, like I said, they're really awesome ones. You can easily do that when you're with your family under the dining room table. Pamela's feeling tears of relief, lots of relaxing and yawns. When you yawn, guys, it's an energetic release or a sign that you're letting go. Great release and relief. I feel calmer, jaw cracking and yawning feels great. More grounded breathing deep in my belly and feeling a little emotional, and that's okay. I think part of the emotion could potentially be feeling touched that you're actually listening to your own heart and that you're able to nurture yourself and soothe yourself in a way that you've probably been craving. More relaxed and yawning, bigger space in my chest, my anxiety is much less. Awesome. It's so great. Okay, now we're going to just move on. We're going to do a lot of exercises tonight. So everybody take one hand on your forehead, doesn't matter which one. The other one's going to go on your pubic bone. The base of your torso, there's that bone, okay? You're going to tap that. This is your root chakra. And as you tap that, I want you to just think to yourself, as an adult, I can make choices which help me feel safe and comfortable. As an adult, I can make choices which help me feel safe and comfortable, and my relationships will benefit as a result. Pause here and breathe into this. Exhale, move up below your belly button, tap second chakra. As an adult, I can release the hold of others' expectations and honor my needs first. I am worthy of my own care and respect. As an adult, I can release the hold of others' expectations and honor my needs first. I am worthy of my own care and respect. Pause here, breathe into this. Tap above your belly button. As an adult, I can give myself the time and space to figure out what I want and need in any holiday situation. As an adult, I can give myself the time and space I need to figure out what I want and need in any holiday situation. Pause here, breathe into this. Shake your hands out. Take the other hand on just so that our arm doesn't get tired. And then you're going to tap your heart chakra. As an adult, I can make choices which honor my heart. As an adult, I can let go of the need to please people and please my own heart because the health of my relationships depend on it. Pause here, breathe into this. And then just tap your throat chakra. I can ask for what I want and what I need with ease, grace, and love. I can ask for what I want and need with love, appreciation, and grace. Pause here, breathe into this. Exhale. Again, tap into your body. Think about what you were nervous about before and see how you feel about it now. So see, feelings, guys, they can pass. You're going to feel them. They're going to let you know you're upset about the way you're walking into something. They're going to let you know that, hey, you need a little more care. You need a little bit more self-care, a little bit more acknowledgement of your feelings, a little bit more of your own respect walking into this situation. Okay. And I want to talk now how you can give yourself the respect, your heart the respect that it deserves going into this and have a completely different experience. Okay. Um, so I want to talk about choices. Okay. I'm just tapping into your feeling good. This was a real confidence boost. Um, afraid to lose myself. These tools are and ideas are coming with me daily now. Good. I'm glad. I wanted to give you some ones that were easy to do wherever you were. Self-care is seen as selfish in my family, especially for women. So hard to deal with the judgment that comes from them when I put myself first. And you know what? You don't necessarily have to tell them you're putting yourself first. You're just going to do it. But the thing is that you don't have to worry about bonding with them by being the martyr the way they are. Okay. So they, in your family system, there's a value, right? Seems like, of taking care of everybody else before yourself. And I know that's a big one for a lot of women. But you don't have to follow them in that way. You can actually honor them and the fact that they are committed to that by doing something different, by doing what they can't do that you wish they could do for themselves, and they probably wish they could do for themselves deep down in their hearts, but they're not willing to go there yet. So I always say, and my mom taught me this years ago. She was in therapy years and years and years ago, and she was concerned about what she had done to screw up her kids. She's like, "Oh my God, my family system is so messed up. And, what did I do to my kids? What did I teach them?" And her therapist said to her, "You change and your kids will change." And I really do find that it's not the best to go into a family situation and therapize, try to be their therapist, but often you can be the change that you want to see in your family system and honor where they are, accept them where they are, and accept yourself where you are. Okay. Honor your own heart and just be conscious you're not bonding with them in that way anymore. You're not bonding with the women in your family by being a martyr like them. You can bond with them maybe over baking your grandmother's recipe for your favorite cake of hers, or you can bond with them by watching your favorite holiday movie together. These are the ways that you can bond with them instead. You get to choose. Okay. So Sheila's saying yes, so powerful to break the cycle. So while we're moving into this wasn't what I was going to go to next, but I want to do it now because I'm already into it. I'm on a roll, guys. So just write down, what are some ways that from your past you have experienced joy around the holidays. Like, go back to childhood and just write in, what are some ways you used to enjoy celebrating the holidays as a kid? I remember I used to love, love, love baking cookies and putting the sprinkles on. And one of the things I'm doing this year with my family and with my brother's little girls is I'm getting all these cool little cookie cutters in different shapes, and I'm going to have sprinkles and different cookie, just cookie food, or what do you call it? I guess sprinkles and design elements that they can put on their own cookies and design their own cookies, right? Icing, that's saying. Yes, icing and sprinkles and glitter and all that good stuff. So I'm going to have that, and I'll have the dough already, so it's not going to be messy, but we're going to make cookies because it's something I love doing as a kid. We also have some puzzles to put together. And another thing I actually got were these little toy boats that we're going to go on the lake where we rented this house, and we're going to play with the toy boats. And yeah, so what are some of the ones for you guys? Listening to Christmas music, gift opening, eating the special meal, making the rounds to visit relatives we didn't just see much around the year, making raviolis with my grandmother. Yes, baking cookies, singing, dancing, decorating the Christmas tree, driving around to see Christmas lights. So baking with your grandmother. So what's really cool about all these activities, guys, is that there are things you can do together without really getting that deep, without getting into talking about things that, maybe you don't want to talk about with them. Um, and ice skating. Awesome. That's an awesome idea. Hot chocolate with marshmallows. Keep it simple. Absolutely. Christmas movies. Yes, listening to Christmas music, singing Christmas music. I remember we used to do the dishes and sing Christmas carols. Super, super awesome. Suzanne says, watching Die Hard. Isn't it funny how that movie seems to be on every Christmas? I've watched it on Christmas myself before too. So, absolutely, guys. So, I want you to just think about these are ways that you can actually bring back the joy of your childhood and bond with your family. Wood burning in the fireplace. Yes, yes, this place we rented has a fireplace, and I did that on purpose because it was one of my loves from childhood. Watching Home Alone and decorating the tree, awesome. Baking fresh bread, yes, 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 guys. So just think, could you enroll people in doing some of these things with you so that you could bond over some of the old traditions that you really enjoy versus getting mixed up in some of the other stuff that might be dictated by them. So this is a really good way to set the stage. And she said, what if that's impossible now? Well, one of the things you could do is you could do it for yourself, Solange. Like I have to tell you, one of the things that I did that brought me so much joy when I moved into my own apartment in New York City, and it was the first time I didn't have a roommate, and I was really feeling super, super lonely. I got my own Christmas tree and I decorated it, got my own Christmas tree decorations, and like I had that for myself. And I have to say, one of the things I so enjoy every year, whether it's my family tree here or other people's Christmas trees, is like, just sitting in front of a beautiful Christmas tree and drinking a warm beverage and just enjoying the light of it. I could do it for hours. So, any of those traditions you had as a child, that would still resonate with you today, do it for yourself. Keep it for yourself and either do it with them or do it for yourself because it's going to bring back the joy of the holiday. And again, this is a way to bond with your family in a way that would feel good versus letting them dictate the plan and, you know, potentially being at odds with that. Okay. So, the other thing that I want to reiterate is it's really, really important for you to also resource yourself. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. What do you need every day to stay grounded in their presence? Is it that walk in nature? So, write some of these things. Okay. So, write some of these things in the chat. So, do you feel grounded by nature? Could you take a walk during the day? Could you maybe just go off to a room in the house somewhere and just take 15 minutes to, I don't know, read your favorite book, even, or like listen to a podcast that, inspires you? Or maybe what you do is make sure that you have access to like the Christmas music you like and work on playing that in the family's presence so that you can feel the inspiration of your musical choices. Maybe it's listening to your favorite pop song before you even go to the family event or in the bathroom when you need a break and you need a little inspirational pick me up. Journaling, making sure you journal. If you're a journaler, guys, making sure you get your feelings out and you have that outlet for self-expression is really important too. Taking the time to ask your heart, what would feel good right now? What do I need? Meditating, taking a bath. Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm just trying to taking photos of beautiful nature scenes with my phone. Absolutely. And then sharing that with your family too. Um, yeah, going off on your own and listening to something calming, candles, all beautiful, guys. So you can resource yourself and choose the ways that you bond with your family. Okay. Um, and then I do also want to talk about boundaries here too, because I think you're going to need to potentially set some sometimes if you're going to honor your heart. So, a question that someone in my emotional mastery class asked recently that was so good was, what's the delineation between compromise and giving up your power or not following your heart? Is it ever acceptable to take one for the team, to make someone else happy, even if it's against your short-term happiness? So I love this because sometimes I think it's hard with family situations to understand what we want and when we're at choice and when we're doing something out of obligation. Okay. And the way to really understand this for yourself is to ask yourself, so this thing that I maybe feel like I should do, is it something I actually want to do? For example, I remember around Christmas time, I hated going to the nursing home to see my father's father. It was smelly. He wasn't the nicest person, and it just was not a fun experience at all. However, it made my dad really happy. And so when I was old enough to recognize this, I hated going. I didn't want to go, but I knew I was doing it because I wanted to make my dad happy and that made me feel good. So that is when it's okay to do something you want to do or do something you don't necessarily want to do if you're doing it out of choice for a reason, okay? And because you want to do it, okay? That's the difference. Doing it because you should do it and you really, really don't want to do it and you're doing it out of guilt, that's never aligned with your highest good or your heart. So things that are done out of guilt they're just gonna create more guilt and more upsetting or uncomfortable feelings. Like energy attracts like energy. So if you do it, you feel good about doing it, then that's a different story. Okay. So when you don't want to do that thing, how do you set a boundary around it? What do you say? And I know a lot of you guys that have worked with Terry Cole are already boundary bosses. And if you have not gotten her book, I highly, highly suggest getting it because it is a boundary Bible. But and I'm going to just give you my pointers here for how to set a boundary in just a quick and easy way. Remember, I said earlier that the thing that can shift anxiety really quickly is appreciation. And so and honoring what is being held precious to you or the other person. So, a really graceful way to set a boundary is to number one, appreciate the other's point of view or their effort. So, maybe someone actually said in their coaching request that her family gets together for 3 hours over every day over 7 days, and it's just so much. It's just too much, and a way to set around a boundary around that may be, I really appreciate your putting on this event and wanting us all to be together. It is so heartwarming and beautiful. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. And you can say why or not. Okay. I'm not going to be able to do that. The second point is stating the boundary. Okay, you can say, I have work commitments or my kids have commitments, whatever it is. And you don't necessarily, yeah, I'm just not going to be able to do that. And I really thank you for understanding. And I look forward to sharing the time I'm going to be with you. All right. And if they have any issue with it, the best way to address it is to simply repeat everything again. And guys, this works great with narcissists. It is a way to really set the boundary with love and grace. So, again, if someone says, well, but everybody else is coming to this, you're the only one that's not going to be there. Like, how could you do this to us? I really appreciate your doing this. I also appreciate that everybody else is going to be there. It's incredible that everybody's able to make the effort. I'm just not able to do it this year. And I really appreciate your understanding this for me. It really touches me that you can get this. Okay. And if there's more, repeat it the same way. Don't change the less you change your words, the better it is because it's just creating that really solid boundary, that line in the sand with love and with grace. Okay. So if you have your pen and paper right now, a graceful way to set a boundary is number one, appreciate the other's point of view, okay, or their effort. Number two, state the boundary in a loving way. Number three, thank that person for understanding. Okay. Can I write this out for the replay? I can. So Kat, will you remind me to put that in the replay? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Narcissists are disarmed by the appreciation. The other thing that's disarming is that to them is when they say something to disagree with you and you say the same thing. And you say the same thing, the broken record technique, but it's the broken record technique with love and appreciation. And it really does work. So there you go. Now, if any of you are feeling any anxiety about setting a boundary like this, okay, I'm going to show you the points to tap. All right. So think about that person with whom you want to set a boundary. Okay. And let's just tap through this. Okay. So, Kat, I want you to mark this too. So think about that person with whom you are, again, feeling a little stressed about setting a boundary. And we're going to tap liver points here on the front of your rib cage and the front of your cheek. So as you tap these points, do it with me, guys. I want you to just think to yourself, I am willing to release criticism and honor my heart by setting boundaries with love and appreciation. This is how I can honor my heart and take excellent care of my relationships. I can release criticism of myself and others and honor my heart by speaking with love, appreciation, and grace, and setting boundaries which protect the health of my relationships. Switch sides, okay? I'm willing to release criticism, self-criticism, or criticism of others, and speak up for myself, set boundaries with love, ease, and grace that honor my heart and my relationships. I can release criticism of myself or others and set boundaries with appreciation, love, and grace, and take care of the health of my relationships in this way. Now just pause and see, does it feel any different thinking about setting that boundary? So that's another quick one you can do just to get grounded and release fear of criticism and go for it. Okay, so you've got the tapping routine and the boundary setting structure. All right, tingling here. Woohoo! Okay, we'll see you later, Renata. You can come watch the rest of it later. Okay. Okay, great. So I just want to say your antidote again to anxiety always lies in appreciation. So throughout this holiday, I want you to see how can you find what your heart needs and give yourself that precious time and care and comfort. Okay. I would like to coach a couple people here if we can. So I'm just going to pull up my coaching here. So is Ann Webster in the house? And if you are, Kat, can you please promote her?
Sure.
And awesome. So Ann, and then the next person I would love to actually coach is Meg Kelly. So if you guys could get yourselves ready, that would be freaking awesome. Is she here? Okay, so Ann, if you could unmute yourself and turn on your video, that would be awesome.
And I'll promote Meg afterward. Is that okay?
That's awesome. That's awesome. I just wanted to get ready so that it could all happen. So hey, Ann, are you there?
I am here. I'm unmuted, but it says I can't start my video because the host has stopped it.
Oh, hey, Kat, can you handle that?
Yeah, let me see here.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just share your coaching request while Kat works that out so that we don't waste any time here. I loved yours because it's something that I've dealt with in my family too. And I think that it's something that a lot of people deal with. Managing my mother's high anxiety over entertaining, even though she insists on hosting, and failure to take care of yourself in the process. You really wish that you could enjoy each other's company instead. So yeah, high anxiety. What happens to you when you around that high anxiety? What actually happens? What do you feel happen to your body?
Well, I guess the first thing is I just go into over functioning. So I often don't even feel what's happening in my body.
Mm.
But
I love that. And I just want, how many people go do that? How many people go into over functioning mode? Like, I totally get that. And what's kind of interesting is that Desiree's like, yes, yes, yes. Okay. So what's interesting is, yeah. And does your mother do that too? Does she go into high functioning mode too? So you're both are sort of running around, scurrying around the house?
oh no, she just lets me be in
Or
charge.
she lets you do it?
And
She's just,
this has been going on. My mother is almost 92,
mhm.
and this has been going on since I was about 8 years old. So it's an old pattern.
Okay, so well, we can't get your video on, but we're gonna do it this way. Okay. So can you tap into your body right now? And can you tell me where you feel? So just imagine going there and tap into that the it's not going to be a feeling, it's going to be more an impulse to do. Okay, to overfunction, just roll into that. Do you
Well,
feel
and
that
also
anywhere in your
I
body?
guess I think it sometimes can feel like a space out.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Like
So
I don't feel myself particularly much. I'm
okay,
just
so
like
where do you feel that in your body? So where do you feel that in your body when you think about it?
mostly head, neck, and shoulders.
Okay, so I'm going to tap into your energy right now. I'm going to test to see what you need to clear this. And usually there's ahas for all of us here because look at how many people are resonating with what you just shared. So I'm going to just tap into your energy system right now. Yes and no. And I'm going to say, do you need a meridian? No, you need chakra work. So with chakras, is there a priority, fear? Nope, it's actually another phrase. So I'm just going to look for the phrase that you personally need to help kind of like break this pattern. So 35 through 40, 40 through 50. So 40 through 45, 45 for 6, 47, 48, 49, 50, 47. So 1 through 10, 10 through 20, 10 through 15, 16, 17, 18. So interesting. What comes up, and you can tell me if this resonates or not. And what I do is I have this big book here that's filled with all these emotions. So I just test, do you need meridian work, which is some of the work we did earlier when we held points, the tapping each chakra with chakra work. And when we're dealing with meridians, we are affecting knee-jerk habituated reactions. When we're dealing with chakras, which is what I got you needed here, we're shifting our perspective. And the perspective that I got that is driving this need to overdo and overfunction is fear of being less than. The opposite way out feeling is sharing, and I am appropriate, but I want to go even further and say, I don't have to do anything to be loved. So if I say that to you, I give up the notion I have to do something to be loved. Can you just say that?
I give up the notion that I have to do something to be loved.
So where do you feel any anxiety when you say that in your body?
I stop feeling my feet when I say it, and not anxiety, but it doesn't ring true. Something I should have written in the comments, and I'll just add really quickly, is I was born at the end of the holidays, right at the end of the year. And I was born to a 19-year-old girl in an unwed mother's home, and I was given up for adoption. So the holidays, I think I may have absorbed some sadness before I was ever born.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then my very beloved adopted grandfather died on Christmas. So the holidays are not a happy time. And I think since I was a very young child, or maybe even before I was born, I did feel a need to sort of earn my keep.
Mm.
And
That's pretty common with people that have been adopted. There's an inherent fear of not being enough because you were put up for adoption. And one of the things that I will say, there's work that I do called family constellation therapy. And
I've done a family constellation.
oh, amazing.
It was
Have
wonderful.
you done it on this? Have you done it on this subject, on adoption?
I've done it on an aspect of adoption, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, one of the things that I have learned in every family constellation I've done that's concerned adoption, and my grandmother was adopted. And so while I wasn't adopted, I was definitely carrying some of her feelings of less than from being adopted, and I worked on that in a family constellation of my own. And the thing that comes up time and time again, and I'm saying this for everyone out there, is that one of the adoption is really a huge, huge act of love. The effects physically that I've seen and heard about of parents who have had to give their children up for adoption are profound. A lot of them die young of heart disease, of lung disease. Lung has to do with grief and loss in the meridian system. And it is really a profound loss that stays with a parent for years to come, for a lifetime, and often ends life, I think, sooner than it may have otherwise, when their children are put up for adoption. And so in every one of these constellations, I truly have seen it as an incredible act of love, and the connection between an adoptee and their birth parents ultimately is very, very profound. And so, yeah. And when you did the constellation, were you able to feel your birth parents at your back?
No, it was the constellation was very interesting, and the birth mother was sort of off to the side and wouldn't even look at the person who was standing in for me.
Okay, so let's just try this, okay? And you can let me know how it feels, okay? I'd like for you to just close your eyes. And I'd like you to just imagine that your birth mother is standing behind you. How does that feel?
Very sad. I feel very sad for her, not sad for myself, but really sad for her. And as you mentioned, she did die young.
Mm-hmm. So just turn around and imagine looking at her. And I just want you to say to this woman, and what age are you seeing her at?
I see her the age she was when I was born, which was just turned 19.
Too. Okay, me too. So I want you to just say to her, and are you your adult self now?
Pardon?
And the
Oh,
age
yes.
that you are?
Yes.
So sometimes people show up at different ages, but I see you as your
No,
adult age now.
I'm showing up as old as I am now.
Great. So I just want you to say this 19-year-old. I want you to just say, um, it's good to recognize you here.
It's good to recognize you here.
Although you didn't raise me,
Although you didn't raise me,
you have a place in my field.
you have a place in my field.
Your life force
Your life force
runs through me.
runs through me.
And I thank you for the gift of life you gave me.
And I thank you for the gift of life you gave me.
And just take a breath. How does that feel to say?
It feels good. It feels true. I have always felt very thankful to her. I've never felt resentment or anger that she gave me up.
So when you tap in with her, how is she now?
Not connected.
Not connected. So just do me a favor and turn around now and see, can you feel her at your back now?
Somewhat, but not open or not willing.
Okay. So I just want you to just, with her at your back, you're just going to like look over your shoulder in your mind's eye and just say to her, you have a place here at my back.
You have a place here at my back.
Your life force is supporting me.
Your life force is supporting me.
And I honor you for the life you gave me.
And I honor you for the life you gave me.
Mm-hmm. And now what I'd like you to do is, you're here. I'd like you to just say, I value myself.
I value myself.
So your third chakra blows on that. And then I want you to say, keep saying, I value myself.
I value myself.
Good. And then I want you to say, I give up the notion I have to do anything to be loved.
I give up the notion that I have to do anything to be loved.
And heart blows on that. So do me a favor, as you're standing there feeling her at your back, place your left hand on your forehead and you're going to tap your third chakra above your belly button. And I think let everybody out there, please do this with me because I think this is going to resonate with a lot of you. Tap above your belly button, your solar plexus chakra, which has to do with your identity. And I just want you to say out loud, I value myself.
I value myself.
I value myself.
I value myself.
I value and accept myself.
I value and accept myself.
For everything I am.
For everything I am.
I am lovable.
I am lovable.
I am valuable.
I am valuable.
I have so much to share.
I have so much to share.
Pause here, breathe into this. Exhale, and now go to your heart chakra and tap here. And I just want you to say out loud, I give up the notion
I give up the notion
I have to do anything to be loved.
I have to do anything to be loved.
I am lovable as I am.
I am lovable as I am.
I give up the notion I have to do anything to be loved.
I give up the notion I have to do anything to be loved.
I am valuable
I am valuable
and lovable as I am.
and lovable as I am.
And just pause here, breathe into that chakra. And just, I want you to say, I am valuable.
I am valuable.
So that now tests strong on your third chakra and just say, I give up the notion I have to do anything to be loved.
I give up the notion that I have to do anything to be loved.
I am lovable and valuable as I am.
I am lovable and valuable as I am.
Good. How does that feel?
Feels good. It makes me cry, but it feels good to say.
Mm-hmm. Just tap into how it feels to have your birth mother at your back now.
I feel very shy about that, and I think she does too.
I think that there ultimately is going to be some, there's more opening to happen here with this relationship. So what would be a really beautiful thing is just to call her in maybe every night before you go to sleep.
Wow.
And just you could even say to her, she could be in a room with you, an imaginary room, and just say, could you come stand at my back? You're in my field. You know, I appreciate your life force in this gift. Could you stand at my back? And just see if over time you can make peace with it, because I think it's happening. One of the things that if she was uncomfortable, she would have moved.
Well, that's so helpful. I think I've always felt so sad for what the holidays and all the period leading up to my birth must have been like for this very young girl on her own in this scary place and about to have a baby, and she didn't know what that meant. And I think I need to stop thinking about that sad piece of her life, because there was lots more of her life that wasn't sad, I'm sure.
There was lots more of her life that wasn't sad. And the other piece I just want to also say is that the beauty of this is your gift of life. You're an incredible person. You know, you've lived, you know, a life that, you know, has probably touched so many people. It's touched you in a lot of ways. And, you know, life is a
I
gift.
certainly cooked a lot of Christmas dinners.
You served a lot of Christmas dinners, so your cooking has definitely touched people in a way. But you know, your life is a real gift, and you know, there's, you know, that is also that is something that she can really be proud of. And I think that in the connection to you, doing this over time, I think that it's going to be I think it'll be profound in ways that you may not even realize now. So I would love for you to write to me, you know, over, you know, do this maybe, every night for a while, and in a month, write to me and let me know how it's feeling.
I
Okay.
would love to do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so when you think about this knee-jerk reaction, just do, how does it feel now?
Well, it feels like I don't want to continue doing that. And it feels a little bit less necessary.
Yay!
Yeah.
We've gone from habituated reaction here to you going, I don't really want to do this anymore. And you're having created all this awareness around this. So now I think that, the strategy for you this holiday season is, how do you get help from other people? Okay. And, how do you set boundaries and just say you don't want to do it? And you can set that boundary with love and grace. You can say, listen, I'm happy to help with this and this, but I need help with these things. How does that feel?
That feels good.
Yeah. Really awesome.
Well,
Yay, Jazz
thank
Hands.
you so much. This is
My
great.
pleasure. My pleasure. Awesome. People are thanking you on the chat too. So
Well, thank you
another
all.
adoptee, and this resonated a lot with her. So very, very
I
cool.
appreciate it. And I want to tell you that I wasn't even thinking about that when I wrote about, having to prop up my adoptive mother for another Christmas dinner. But I think this was much more important than what I wrote about. So thank you very, very much.
Here's the thing. I think we really dealt with all of it. And this is the beautiful thing about these coachings. Like, it's so funny when I do these coaching groups, like, women will bring in, the women in the group will bring in like all these things that they want to work on. And what we wind up working on, it's amazing how it affects every person in the group. And it was like the right and perfect thing for everybody to hear, which, from seeing the chat here, this was like really powerful for everybody, what actually came up. So that's how the universe works.
Well, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. This was
my
wonderful.
pleasure. My pleasure. All right. So let's go to Meg now.
I am just putting her back as an attendee, and I'm promoting Meg. 1 second.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about what her request was. So I feel like I don't fit in and that my family would not accept my authentic self. So I only show them what they expect, creating a barrier between us. I wish that I could accept them for their Catholic beliefs while they could accept me for no longer believing. Okay. And so I understand this because I have felt like with energy work, like my family hasn't gotten energy work and me doing energy work for years. They don't really understand it. And, for a while I was like, oh, there's a part of me they just don't get. And so it hurt in a way, like they weren't accepting who I was. But I think that wasn't really the case for me. The case for me was that they just didn't get energy work. They accepted me as Lara. They just didn't really get the energy work, but I was putting a judgment on that. So let's see what it was for Meg, what it is for Meg. So Meg, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So good to have you here. When you think about this and you think about not feeling accepted for your authentic self and feeling this barrier between your family, what do you feel in your body?
I feel a diminishing, kind of like my light is being hidden.
So like you're shrinking almost.
Yes.
So it would almost feel like if you were in a room with them, you'd be like going like into the corner.
Correct.
Okay.
Like,
I wanted to give every sort of like a visual of like energetic.
Yeah, it's pulling into my center.
Pulling into your center. Okay. So just tap into that feeling. I'm going to tap into your field now and see what's driving this for you, meridians or chakras. So yes and no. Is this a meridian reaction? It's a chakra reaction. So she needs this. It's a priority fear. So there's a priority fear. I'm going to look it up and see exactly what it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, first part, second part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. What's really interesting is I get fear of freedom. Can you just say freedom for me over and over again?
Freedom.
Again.
Freedom.
Again.
Freedom.
Your third chakra blows. Keep going.
Freedom.
Heart. Go again.
Freedom.
Throat.
Freedom.
So when you say freedom, is there anything that comes up for you?
Not really. I don't feel a strong connection to the word.
So I want you to say, oh, maybe that's it. So just say, I can accept myself. Say this, I can be free to accept myself around my family. Say that.
I can be free to accept myself around my family.
So every chakra's weak on that. So what I think is actually happening is because you don't feel free to be yourself around them, it's like you are rejecting who you are in their presence.
Yes.
So I want to see what happens as we say this. Okay. So let's just see what the priority. So I can be free to accept myself in my family's presence. I'm going to see what chakra's priority. One. So priority is second, priority is third. So the priority is your third chakra. So can you hold your forehead and I want you to tap above your belly button. And guys, do this with us because I am sure there are those of you out there that are feeling like you aren't able to be so much your authentic self when you're family. So when you're with your family. So tap this with us. And I want you just to say, Meg, just say, I can feel free to accept myself when I'm with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I am with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I'm with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I am with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I'm with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I am with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I'm with my family.
I can feel free to accept myself when I am with my family.
I can accept all of who I am when I'm with my family.
I can accept all of who I am when I am with my family.
I can accept all of who I am when I'm with my family.
I can accept all of who I am when I am with my family.
Now just pause here and breathe into this chakra and see how that feels. Just say that for me. I can accept all of who I am when I'm with my family.
I accept all of who I am when I am with my family.
How does that feel?
It feels better.
So when you think about being with them now, like walking into a room with them, how does that feel?
I feel happy to be with them and making the connection with them.
So that's a big difference.
Yes.
It was funny, like I'm in your field, I'm such an empath. I'm feeling the shift here. I wish I could see you, but I imagined you walking in the room, and the way I imagined you walking in the room the second time was with your shoulders back, standing tall. And I don't know if everybody could hear it. In some ways, it's cool that we didn't have the video. Like your voice really changed as we were doing this, and you got more and more sure saying this. So I really take a note on this. Okay, write this down. I think this is a really good one for everybody, though. Solange is crying. She says, I feel relief. Darlene says, I can feel free to accept myself around X. Absolutely. Like, Patricia, you can say that. You can actually add something to it. But I think that, Meg, for you, I can feel free to accept all of who I am around my family, because what's happening is that because they're rejecting aspects of it's really what you believe. It's not you. You're rejecting you. And so this is actually one of those instances where like your boundaries are dropping when you're around them, because it's like you're almost like you're taking on and sort of beating yourself up with what they think about you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you don't have to.
That's great. I love this phrase.
It's literally this easy. You just shift this. And I think the way that you walk into this holiday season is going to be really different. I would love for you to write to me and let me know how it goes, what's different, because literally, like, this is the cool thing about chakra work, guys, is that like her perspective of what's possible walking in with her shoulders back is way different than the way you walked in before, feeling like, oh my God, am I going to get attacked? But you're actually attacking yourself. So, yeah. So, guys, others can have judgments. Don't take it on. You accept yourself for everything that you are. Love and nurture yourself and give yourself what you need this holiday. Meg, that was freaking awesome. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate you
you.
sharing this and being so open and game to this. And please write to me. Yes. And Solange is saying, yes, their judgment belongs to them. Hell yes, it does. It's not yours. It's not yours. So, Meg, this is so cool. Please let me know how it goes. Do this every day. I would do it in the morning and the evening because it's quick, before you go and when you're there. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Can't wait to see it. So, so cool. Awesome. So, see how much you guys got out of that? It's super cool. This is why I love doing the coaching. Okay. So I want to share with you guys, because I'm really into these coaching groups. I'm also really into working with groups in general right now. After emotional mastery, I just finished emotional mastery with a bunch of you guys, and it was so inspiring to me. And what I'm finding that people need, and you guys need, based on the work that I've just done, with that last group, is more coaching. Okay. Like I just did this one-on-one coaching that I did is what I'm doing in small group coachings next year. And what happens in you're in a group of 6 to 8 women, and people bring whatever they are struggling with, and I test to see what they need. Like just what happened just now, we wind up finding that what you need is also what other people need, and what other people need is what you need. So it's like a 2-hour period of constant clearing and also constant cheerleading of people basically saying to you, absolutely, you can do it. Absolutely, you're worthy of it. And we're behind you. It is a very, very cool group dynamic that I'm enjoying so much and other people are enjoying too. And then what happens after that coaching group is there's also an accountability partner that you get paired with a couple weeks later, where you guys talk through a list of questions. So it keeps you true to the action steps that I give you coaching to do, and helps you understand on a deeper level through conversation with this other person just how your perspective is changed and what is changing in your life as a result of the coaching and energy clearing you're getting. So it's a really, really powerful, a powerful group to be in. And I'm doing these coaching groups next year. You can look at joining if this is interesting to you. I'm also relaunching my Freedom Formula program, which again was something that I really saw that people needed. And this is where you can actually learn how to do what I just did with everybody. So you can say, wait a second, like last week I woke up and I was like really anxious about something. I didn't know what. I just woke up with this like overpowering anxiety. I was like, crap, this sucks. And I was able to test the way I tested tonight underneath the computer screen. I'm doing this and testing, asking my body, because I'm in somebody else's field, like, what is it that person needs, right? But you can ask your own self that question. Boy, I'm feeling really anxious right now. What does my body need to help to process this? Do I need a meridian? Do I need a chakra work? And, what's the exercise that's going to help me clear it? It's exactly what I did with everybody here today. So you saw the process, but you get to learn to do it yourself. And it is a priceless, priceless tool to have, because it means that anytime you're anxious, anytime you're upset, anytime you're frustrated, you can tap in and give yourself the exercise you need to clear it. It's really phenomenal, and it's changed my life, and it's changed many people's lives who have taken the course. So you learn how to do that. We also do family constellation in it as well. So we do some family parent constellation work, like you saw me do with Anne, and you even get a private session with me where we delve deeper into any of the family trauma or breaks and bonds that are affecting you and you may not even know are affecting you. So I had one client who kept attracting men who couldn't commit for marriage, and she desperately wanted to get married because they all had like something wrong with them. So like, she didn't realize she met this really great high achieving guy, and then like turns out like he had a mother that was ill, so he just couldn't commit, and had that tie to his mother that wasn't going to work. Another person that she was dating had PTSD. Another one wound up having cancer. Like they all had this sort of victim consciousness. And what we did when we did our constellation to help free her up for marriage was that in her history, she had not parents, but like 300 people in her family field that died in the Holocaust and that were victims. And when we were able to make peace with that for her and have her honor those people's deaths and lives in her family field, she was freed up from this need to attract and attach to victims. And she wound up getting married within that year. It was unbelievable. So I got to be at the wedding. It was very cool. So this is the kind of stuff that we'll work on in family constellation therapy. And then you'll also learn how to cut cords energetically. You'll learn how to clean negative energy out of your space and out of your body and test foods, so much more in Freedom Formula. It's really putting the power of energy work at your fingertips so that you can do what I do with my clients and in my groups on your own. So if you're torn, you're like, oh my God, the group sounds so good and the Freedom Formula course sounds so good, there's an option to do both too. So there's a bundle that you could do where you do both. And there's a really pretty awesome discount there if you want to do that and take part in both. It's really an amazing price. You can do that. So I'm going to send you guys the link in the replay. If you're interested in signing up for either one of those, it would be my joy to work with you and to share these magical tools with you, because they truly have changed my life. And I just light up when I'm able to help you, find that underlying thing that's keeping you stuck and help you break free from it so that you can ultimately take action and have what you want, because you so deserve it. All right. So I can't wait to work with you guys in the future. And I want to leave you with another exercise that is a great one for creating harmony among you and your family. And this one is really pretty easy. So you take your fingers, your thumb here, and you're going to hold large intestine 1 right here. Okay, with your thumb, just like that. Okay, and you can hold that, and holding this point, large intestine 1. I just wanted to go back to my notes here so that I can find what it means. Just do this with me. And large intestine 1 is called a central treasury point. It gives you the space to breathe. It can help you tap into your personal power and the strength to process your emotions. Okay. So this is an awesome, awesome point to do in the thick of holiday things. You can literally just do this. Okay. And then you could even hold, if you wanted to, actually just do this. This is the easiest thing to do. You can hold this point just like this, and you're actually what's interesting is you're getting 2 points at this one time. I read you the wrong point. Large intestine, that what I just read was long, which you're getting when you hold your thumb this way. Okay. But large intestine, the meaning of the large intestine point, which you're holding here. So when you hold your index finger here, you're getting large intestine here. And when you hold this point on your thumb with large intestine, you're getting your lung point. So I just read what the lung point is going to do for you. Holding the large intestine point is going to help you give yourself more breathing space, reduce pressure, and it's going to slow down and deepen your exhalation, which is going to just help you breathe easier in any tough situation. And it's going to help you get in touch with your feelings in the moment. It helps to remove the need to place an armor or separation between you and other people so that you can actually make contact emotionally. Okay. So as you're holding this, what I'd like you to do is place one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus. We're going to connect your identity, who you believe yourself to be in your family system, with your ability to love yourself, okay, and then your heart chakra as you're holding these points to help you stay open. And I just want you to take this in. The love in me can connect with and witness and be inspired by the love in you. The love in you can connect with the love in your family. The love in me witnesses and has been inspired by the love in you tonight. And the love in you can connect with the love in your family system. You can bond with them in ways that feel good. You can release your anxiety or fear about being with them with a lot of the exercises we use tonight. Nurture yourself and soothe yourself. Soothe those anxieties. Figure out what you want and what you need, and then ask for it with ease and grace, or set boundaries around what you don't want to do. The love in you deserves to be loved. So please take care of yourself this holiday season. Use these tools I'm giving you, and please let me know how it goes too. And it would be my honor and my pleasure to do more work with you in the new year. So we'll send the link that you can use to sign up for any of these classes. And Kat, if you want to just put it in the chat, that would be awesome right now, that quick link. And there are limited spots in the coaching groups because I can only take so many people in the groups. Okay, so anyway, it was such a fun time with you guys. I'm sending you all my love. And thank you so much for being here. Desiree, awesome you were here. Darlene, Kat, thank you. Melissa, Solange, thank you again for all being here. I'm sending you all my love, all the joy you can muster this holiday season. And I can't wait to hear how this affects your holiday. So much love.